Okay. It's been a while. Where are my Stained fans at? You guys still exist? Oi oi, how's it going? Holy shit, it's been two months? It's been a while since I've actually turned this camera on. And I thought, on my day off, because I've been very, very busy lately, because I'm a fucking normal human being and have a job. Silly creators that does this for a living. What the fuck am I talking about? I thought it'd be a good time to turn the camera back on and talk about Ninja Turtles. Because that's all I can seem to talk about. If you're looking at the TV, please don't pay attention to that. It's updating 2K because I have a weak backbone and I give in really easily to shit games that take way too long to fucking update and go through microtransactions and just suck in general. Anyway, let's get on to the video. I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Does that prove my point? But I don't think there's never been a near perfect Ninja Turtles film. Don't get me wrong, this one's good. But, you know, it's a little dated. Because it's old. And this one's my childhood. But does that really make it a good film? Well, it did have Mr. Ice Ice Baby, so 10 out of 10. And don't even get me started on this hunk of shit. And its slightly better sequel. That's not a compliment. But in my opinion, I think TMNT is the most watchable, in my awfully wrong opinion. Just go on to my previous video. Quantumania is going to be sick. I feel like TMNT took a more mature tone, kind of like capitalizing off the 03 TV series and what they tried to do with the material. And they added a bit of 13 Reasons Why angst to it. Am I safer now? No one pops themselves or no one kills themselves in this. Oh fuck, never mind. I was just trying to say it was really edgy. Now you're thinking of Donatello topping himself. Okay. So without further ado, let's get on with this film review. Bars. Eminem.
My bum is on your lips.
I think so. The film gives us some backstory on where we are in the Turtles timeline, which is definitely a thing because I said so. The Shredder is dead and the brothers are just kind of chilling. And then we get a flashback to 13,000 years ago, where we see some Lord of the Rings type battle, and Mans here has gone God mode enabled. Like, look at him, looking straight out of Dynasty Warriors with that hit combo. They are then shown pulling some sort of gateway, and I wonder what that, oh, okay, Mans went literal God mode, but at what cost? Because he just stoned his siblings, and not the good kind of stoned. But I wouldn't feel too bad, because this fat lard is your sibling. She can stay though. Now Mr. Immortal is all sad because he can't smash his sister. Or brother. Backtracking like 30 seconds, 13 uber spooky monsters jump out of the gateway and wreak havoc. This will be important later. And I don't know why I get a weird sense of satisfaction when this guy says unleashed.
The monsters that were unleashed.
I don't know why he puts so much emphasis on the shh. We then fade into the full feature-length film, Tarzan, featuring one of the Skarsgårds fella. That is less famous than the other Skarsgård fella.
Bonjour, I'm Alex.
The first time I saw this in the cinema, I thought this was April because reasons. And this guy yeets a little boy into her and yells mama. And it never really hit me until April is actually introduced a solid 5 to 10 minutes later. What's even worse, the only reason I knew this was April was because she had a cavalier reaction to meeting Leo. Yeah, I'm dumb. Anyways, this Jack Black and Tommy Lee looking duo gets stopped by some...
The ghost of the jungle.
Thanks, Tommy. I really like this panning shot with Leo, Ghost of the Jungle, appearing out of the shadows. I think it perfectly sets up that hint of realism. That human-sized turtles would be fucking creepy and humans would shit themselves if they saw one. Therefore, the turtles stick to the shadows and remain anonymous, unlike past renditions of the turtles. The stage is set. Ghost Boy versus Jack Black. One-on-one showdown. This looks very familiar.
The ghost of the jungle.
Sends the car back to the village, with not April and little boy catching a glimpse of
Ghost of the jungle.
Thanks, kid. We are then introduced to April, and she pretty much tells this kid to fuck off as soon as he gives her information about Leo's whereabouts.
You'd better get home now.
Hey man, that was really mean.
April falls and Leo catches her, following an absolute zinger.
It's a long way from the city to just drop in.
He had that one locked in the chamber. He was just waiting for someone to fall so he could use that absolute banger of a line. April gives some backstory on what everyone's been up to. Leo has been banished to the jungle to be a better leader. Donatello is in IT support. Michelangelo is a sex offender, and Raphael is Batman under the lame name Night Watcher. By the way, April is in the jungle because she's like some Lara Croft or some shit looking for a 3,000-year-old statue for some bigwig. I wonder what those statues could be. Anyway, going back to the Batman line, Leo pulls a Batman on April and leaves her in the fucking cave. Like, how is she meant to get out? She can't go back up the way she came in. You left her for dead.
Transition.
We are then shown Mikey and his child Shaggin' Wagon driving home from a hard day of kids having their way with him. Then BAM! Skate montage. What are we in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5? No, we're not stupid, we're watching TMNT, pay attention. Mikey makes a grand entrance into his home, and he gets around the same reception as me when I walk through the door.
Hulk?
A whole lot of nothing happens in this scene. Master Splinter yaps on about how hope is being lost for their family or some shit.
Transition.
We then cut back to not Lara getting back from the cave that Leo definitely left her in. We are then introduced to Casey Captain America Jones, played by Chris Evans. That's why I said the Captain... You know what? Never mind. I actually think Chris Evans plays Casey Jones well. He's a lovable doofus, and that's how he's always been. He's no 03 TMNT, Casey Jones, but you know, he's not bad. Another transition later, we learn about a guy named Winters, and Casey Jones dozes off and shows that he listens to Limp Bizkit.
Transition.
We then get a scene where we actually get introduced to Winters, and he's weirdly built like Crash Bandicoot. And again, a whole bunch of nothing happens, so let's just skip over it.
Transition.
We then see a gargoyle eat a bird, showing that it may or may not be
Monsters that were unleashed.
Wait, that's the whole scene? Why did we need to see that? It could have been conveyed in a different way that integrates into the next shot, especially when the next scene is in the street. You could have just shown that scene and panned down. Like, why did we need to devote a transition to that one shot? We once again see Raph play Batman. I refuse to call him the Night Watcher. And we also get introduced to Casey Jones. Vigilante Casey Jones, not just the Limp Bizkit fan. And Casey Jones figures out quick smart that the Night Watcher is Raph. And Raph asks the dumbest question.
How'd you know it was me?
Hold up, are you fucking serious right now? Who else is built like this? What kind of human is built like this? Who could it be? Danny DeVito?
Yeah, looks like I got a sidekick.
Yeah, right. You're the sidekick.
We then cut to Slim Shady hanging on a lamppost, and we get to pan to...
Transition.
Seriously? For fuck's sake. We were so close to having a change in the scene without a fade. So close. Anyway, we have Raph and Casey having a heart-to-heart, showing the struggles that both men face, with Leo gone and Raph feeling like he needs to carry the weight of the family, stopping criminals because no one else will, and Casey struggling with settling down with April and trying to live a normal life and giving up the vigilanteism. It really shows how mature both characters are. Oh, wait, Raph sleep.
Transition.
Oh my god! If you haven't figured it out yet by now, Winters is the golden boy from a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Hold up, just getting serious for a second because this is a review, kinda. But I love the way these two scenes work together, having this dramatic panning shot accompanied with dramatic music of Winters awaking his stone brothers and sisters, and as the music crescendos, it cuts off in a close-up of the general's hand as it comes to life. Then hard cut to more dramatic music as Leo emerges out of the plane. I'm sorry, it's fucking awesome. When Leo arrives, he confronts his master, Splinter. I don't know why I left a big pause in there. They embrace while Raph is a peeping Tom. Raph stays brief when he greets Leo, showing animosity, as well as some jealousy. He heads to bed while the other brothers greet the returning brother. All the turtles reunite for the first time in however long, and their first fight is to take on whatever the fuck that thing is, despite Splinter saying to the boys to not fight. But Raph rebels against Leo, showing that he's not the leader anymore, and they all follow Raph to take on whatever the fuck this thing is. Karai stops what she's doing and attacks Leo. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention that this is Karai, but she appears earlier in the film, and the way that she talks, it sounds like she has a dick in her mouth.
I'm here to hurt you. You'd be hurting already.
Just on a side note, I really like the action in this film. I'll talk about it more later on, but I think the animations are really fluent and are definitely better than the later Ninja Turtles films to come out. Here it is, whatever the fuck this thing is, versus the Stoners. What an epic showdown we're about to sit. Oh, it's over. But nonetheless, the turtles are back, dude.
The turtles are back, dude!
That's what I'm saying! Winters chads it up to Karai as he introduces her to his homie chromies. That's not a disabled joke. I didn't mean it to come off like that. Yeah! But it's at this moment when I realised that this prick is actually played by acting royalty Sir Patrick Stewart. And then I also thought that it looks weird seeing Patrick with functioning legs because he was always in a wheelchair for most of my childhood. Skipping ahead a bit, we are then presented with a montage of the Foot and the Stone Chromies capturing the monsters. Raph and Casey run into some trouble, and for some reason, Raph develops a speech impediment.
Did I mention we ran into a monster last night? No.
Like, why the fuck are you talking like that? Casey does an oopsie, and Raph ends up paying for it. He dies. But first, I have a question. Serious as cancer. Oh, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me today? When the fuck did Raph get stabbed by this thing? It wasn't by the Foot because they shot Tranks. So the only other suspect that had access to Raph's back was Casey.
No.
Conspiracy? I think so.
No.
We see the boys eating some pizza, and for some reason, every time I watch this scene, as soon as Mikey says anyone for dessert, everyone yells no, and for some reason I hear one of the turtles call Mikey a bitch, and I can't stop hearing it no matter how many times I watch it.
Anyone for dessert? No.
We get the treat of more people welcoming back Leo, and he hits us with a fourth wall break.
Well, at least his personality's still intact.
April gives us a story about Winter's backstory, revealing him to be a villain. Like, we already knew that. Who was that for? Leo and Raph bicker back and forth once more, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back.
Fine then. I quit.
Okay, man, but what are you quitting exactly? We then get a pretty cool shot of the Night Watcher looking over the city, and then cut away to Winters. Oh, okay, that was really abrupt. Why show that? We then see Winters and his Stone brothers disagreeing, showing that the family's values don't align, giving some speculation of who is the real bad guy. The Stony cronies make it official that they're turning on their flesh-covered brother who don't want to be immortal no more.
Transition.
We are then presented with a diner that has one of the monsters in it. And who comes to the rescue? The Night Watcher, because he was in the previous scene for like 2 seconds. We then get a comedy battle that plays some copyrighted music, so just imagine some hard rock playing here. The Night Watcher spots Leo from a rooftop and fucking legs it, while Leo chases after him. Leo goes full sicko mode and Goldberg spears Raph through a sign, like he really wants to murder this dude. And as the Night Watcher gets cornered on a rooftop, it starts to rain, and round one begins. Leo absolutely schools Night Watcher, sending him flat on his ass with a nasty uppercut. God damn, Leo. Now end with a cool one-liner.
Good night, Dark Prince.
We'll work on the trash talk. But oh my god, the Night Watcher is Raphael. We already knew this, but Leo didn't, so let's keep going. This scene is actually a really powerful scene in the film, and I think the delivery was so well done with James Arnold Taylor playing Leo and Nolan North playing Raphael. I think they just did an incredible job. And it actually serves as one of my favorite Ninja Turtles moments of all time. The delivery, perfect. The dialogue, perfect. The animation, perfect. I love it. I almost forgot about the soundtrack, but this is a great time to bring it up. I think Klaus Bedell did an incredible job with composing this film. I think the main theme used in the beginning is an absolute slapper, with the violins accompanied with the electric guitar, and the percussion composition used for this scene, which matches up with the movement of the fight, which goes back to when I said the animation of the fight scenes look insanely smooth and fluent. But anyway, back to the fight. The fight ends with Raph winning, and Raph shows instant regret, knowing that his anger took over. and that this is not what he wants. So he hops in the whip and is outie. And good timing because Leo gets fucking bitch slapped as soon as Raph dips. Leo lets out an agonizing scream, causing Raph to sonic his way back, but he's too late. Raph comes through acting like a complete Kyle until he admits to Master Splinter that he may or may not have gotten Leo killed. And Splinty says, "Let's go fuck this shit up and get Leo back." His words, not mine. I was kind of like, what? Splinter really said that? It's crazy. Everyone suits up and gets ready to get Leo back. And April turns into the bride from Kill Bill. Neat touch. Let's fast forward a bit to where the moment Winters realized that he's been
Betrayal.
well, betrayed, but, close enough. And we are now certain that Winters is a bad guy with good intentions. And as soon as that scene's over, we cut to the fight against the Foot Ninja to get inside Winters' tower. Which is insanely quick, but a cool scene nonetheless. Seeing all of the main characters kick ass as they make their way inside. Casey once again shows that he listens to Limp Bizkit. Now that the doors are locked and the Foot can't get in, they find Leo taking a nap, and Donnie thinks it's funny to blow his brother up. We get a nice moment between Raph and Leo rekindling their relationship, and then Winters gets fucking yeeted in front of the turtles. Winters is dead. Just kidding. Winters opens up to April, agreeing that it's time to put an end to his life. Not like suicidal or anything, he doesn't want to shoot himself. Oh god, the 13 Reasons Why comments coming back. What I mean is he just wants to get all the monsters to go back to their own dimension or whatever the fuck, and then he will die because he's lived for so long. The Foot align with Casey and April to find the 13th monster, while the turtles fight the Stony Cronies until they come back. And you'd like to think that a monster this fucking big would be seen by at least one person throughout the film. This thing is a fucking dinosaur. And you're telling me that no one noticed this running through the city at any time throughout this film? Yeah, I call bullshit on that one, mate. Long story short, the Stony Cronies get dunked on by the last monster, and Winters pulls a Fiona at the end of Shrek. But this time, Winters, dies instead of turning into an ogre, so that's that. Splinter puts Winter's battle helmet on the wall of fallen foes of the turtles, which has Shredder's helmet, Master Splinter's 03 robes, Mouser robot parts, the warrior mask worn in Ninja Turtles 3, the time scepter, the TCRI canister, and a few more items, which I think is really cool. It's a lot of nods to all the previous movies and TV shows, and I think it's, really neat. And Raph comes in to retire the Night Watcher helmet. I was going to say Nightcrawler helmet, why the fuck? Oh, my brain! And Raph comes in to retire the Night Watcher, putting his helmet on the wall as well. The film ending in the way the movie started, with the four turtles running through the city rooftops as Raph narrates who they are and what they stand for. Cut to black. The end. Overall, I love this movie. It's a great watch. It's very nostalgic for me, and I don't know, there are a lot of qualities that seem to really tickle my fancy. I do recognize its flaws though. I was poking fun of the amount of transitions used in the film, and that does get really fucking annoying because you start to realize that the pacing is actually quite bad in this film. It moves way too fast, and the story that they wanted to tell seems to be a lot more expanded than what they could fit into an hour 20 film. I think they just needed a bit more of a runtime to tell the tale that they really wanted to kind of convey onto the screen. They just didn't have enough. Going back to the transitions, when I reviewed this film, I never realized how much it bugged me that there were so many fades used until now. The amount of dissolves that were used in this film, I don't know how I went for so long without picking this up and how annoying they are. And lastly, to kind of critique the film, I thought the Stony Cronies were kind of a lame villain. Well, let's chuck Winters in there as well. I think Winters was kind of a lame villain. I love that Patrick Stewart was involved, but Winters just came off a bit dull and boring. No real, I didn't feel like he was an actual threat. Even though he wasn't really meant to be, it was meant to be the Stony Cronies. But even then, they were kind of insanely mid. They weren't even mid. They were really fucking boring. I just feel like those characters that they tried to introduce didn't bring much to the table. The film was great to me because it was solely based on the fact of the conflict between Raph and Leo and how it turned the Turtles family dysfunctional. And yeah, I think that's one of the very few times that Raph and Leo actually butt heads and come face to face and fight. So that's kind of why I liked it, especially that fight scene. It's just, mwah, it's just so fucking good. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If you liked it, please give it a like. It shows that you liked it. Hopefully I can do more of these reviews in the future. I do enjoy doing film reviews because they're a lot shorter than game reviews, and I do have a list of games that I want to review in the future. I don't know how many I'll get done. Same with films. I have a lot of films that I'd like to talk about. Not just Ninja Turtles films, but just, you know, horror films mostly, because horror films are so funny because half of them are really fucking bad. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Comment what's your favorite Ninja Turtles movie, because, you know, everyone has an opinion. I just put mine on a video and you didn't, so what the fuck's up with that? Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.
Come